This video is now first on the list, replacing an older Simulation Session 1 video on the YouTube How to Get Your Real Estate License in Ontario playlist. It's going to be extremely helpful and broken into 3 categories: the structure, the preparation, and my personal experience. Be sure to stick around to the end for that because my expectation was significantly different than my experience. As usual, if you are looking for more support to pass these exams, look to my Exam Master mini courses in the description below. It's everything I wish I had before an exam. More on that later in the video, but let's just dive right into it. First, the structure, what the course consists of, the times, the length, and the exam. So these simulations are still virtual simulation sessions, meaning they are all online. Humber has offered the ability to do them in person, but at the time of this video, that's not getting much traction at all. It will be you and roughly 25 other students and 2 facilitators from the comfort of your home via Zoom. If they change it to another software by the time you are taking it, it'll be Zoom or Google Meet or one of the others. You have 2 options. You can take these sessions during the week, the weekday sessions, or you can take them on the weekends. Weekdays are Monday to Friday, and the weekends are actually 3 consecutive weekends. I'll quickly show you here exactly what I mean. When you are on the Humber College Real Estate website and you book your session, you will click here, then on the right-hand side, you will click again here, and it'll take us to the availability. Okay, when you scroll down, you will see 2 options: weekends on the top here at the time I'm looking at this, and weekdays at the bottom. If we click view details on weekdays, it will show us Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and October 21st to the 24th. Below that, it will show the Friday session that is 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. So a little shorter day there, which is nice. Then it will show you that you have the ability to book your exam any day from October 26th to November 1st. This is a welcome change now, because when I was going through it, you had to take your exam on the Friday after that morning session and afternoon session. You were burnt out by the time you had to take your exam. This is significantly better now that you can book it afterwards, between a couple study days if necessary. I'll come back around and actually talk about that as well, the exam and booking it. But if we head back above that and click the weekend session, it shows only Saturday and Sunday here. That is a little confusing. I wish it showed Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, because that is what it is. It is actually 3 consecutive weekends, so they are still 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And on the left, you can see exactly that. October 12th to October 20th. If I quick bring up the calendar, you can see that is what they mean: October 12th and 13th, then the 19th and the 20th. Your 5th session will be the following Saturday, and again, it will be a shorter session, which is nice, only until 2:30. And same as the weekday, you will have the opportunity to book any day for your exam, usually about a week they give you, October 27th until November 2nd. All of these hours add up to a total of 35.5 hours, not counting your exam. Okay, so what is optimal? So the weekday sessions are clearly optimal, but you have to know your situation. If you aren't working, it's a no-brainer, of course. Take the weekday sessions. If you are working, do you want to take that week off? I definitely know people that have taken a vacation week to do the Sims 1, but others don't really want to waste that vacation week, so they do the weekends. I like that they offer both options, which is very nice, and I'll leave it up to you in your personal situation. Okay, so on to the exam now, which is still part of the structure. You now have 50 questions on the exams. You still have 3 hours to do it, which is very nice, which is around 3.5 minutes per question. You still have both options at the time of this video. When I'm making this, you still have both options to do this exam, either in person or online. However, these questions now in this exam are much different than you've seen so far. They are long-worded, scenario-based questions. It's still multiple choice, of course. There's still 1 question with 4 possible answers. But from the people I've talked to, and even my personal experience coming in underprepared, I wasn't expecting these, and a lot of people find them tricky and tough. I know some people watching this, English is not their first language. I know other people get flustered over these big, long worded questions, and then I know other people that absolutely flourish during them. So there's a bit of a range. Don't stress though, this is why you are here, getting additional support. I will say one thing though, when it comes to the simulation session, this is definitely an exam you don't want to start failing. It is not only the most expensive, it is the most time consuming for your schedule, as these are mandatory times you have to be there, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. type stuff. Again, if you want to be extremely prepared, look to the Exam Master mini courses in the description below. Okay, so just to stay with structure, right, just to help with visualization, you will have about 23 to 25 students in the class as mentioned, 2 facilitators, and just like a normal Zoom if you've done it before, whoever's talking will take the main screen with other people along the top or the side. 95% of the time, the facilitators or the slide that they are sharing will be here and the students will be along the top. As the day flows, they will actually send you out into breakout rooms. These breakout rooms are where you'll meet your fellow students and classmates and accomplish and take on certain actions. Usually these breakout rooms consist of about 2 to 4 other students, and if I had to guess, you spend maybe 2 to 3 hours of the 8-hour day in these breakout rooms. Some of the best part of this is in those breakout rooms with fellow students, just meeting them and solving problems together. This for sure is the best part, or was the best part for me. An action, for example, that you could be doing and discussing and solving could be that the facilitator gives you 4 types of clauses where you have to restructure them, try to find what's missing, if the wording's wrong, stuff like that. You'll work together on these little projects. The other half of the time in the breakout rooms, you will be doing role plays with each other. For example, you'll do something like an elevator pitch on day 1. You'll be explaining to your sellers maybe about multiple representation, or everyone's favorite, explaining the buyer representation agreement. The facilitators will ask a lot of questions to the group, which might take up the other 3 hours, and the other 3 hours or so will be them explaining content or answering questions. So roughly 1/3 of it is in the breakout rooms, 1/3 they're explaining content and maybe asking questions, and 1/3 they are answering questions. You also have some breaks. You have 2 15-minute breaks, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and 1 1-hour lunch. Okay, that is structure. Let's move on to preparation. I know of 2 ways that people prepare for these weekend or weekday sessions. So once you have purchased your session, you can go on and double check your hours. If you scroll to the bottom, you can quick bring up the hours and you will have chosen which day you will be doing your exam on. Like mentioned, you have 7 days to choose from after your final session, after your day 5 session, to choose which one you want. Personally, I've found from the people I've talked to, 1 or 2 days is optimal, but again, we'll talk about that later at the end of the video. You will have access to your participation workbooks. This is what you're going to be using as you follow along during the sessions. I would check to download these within about a week of your session starting. If for some reason you can't find them or they're not there yet, definitely reach out to Humber College Real Estate Support. They might have to do something, but usually you can see them there. This blue flag will appear. I'll go into Sims 1 to show you how to access them, when they'll be available to you. You will click the blue flag and then references. Here you can see, for example, day 1, you can go through your entire workbooks if you like prior to your session. To tell you the truth, it's a bit of a jumble, right? It doesn't make much sense right now to go through the whole thing because it starts to make more sense as you're following along and filling things out. Okay, so I said there are 2 options, right? Some people prefer to print out all of these workbooks so they have a hard copy in front of them that they can mark up on as they're following along. Personally for me, and this is what I did, I just had a bit of a setup that was different than that. I had my laptop in front of me that was my Zoom. To my left, I had a separate monitor where my workbooks were, and to my right, I had my own little notepad to take notes and stuff like that. Of course, to each their own. I know people absolutely love having hard copies in front of them. Definitely do that if you think it could help. It is a long week or weekends, depending on which one you choose. Do what you think is best for you for when it comes to these workbooks and your notes and your setup. Okay, that was preparation. Before we get into the Exam Master mini course, let's do last on the list, my personal experience. Okay, so this is just my personal experience, right? Take from it the good, take from it the bad, and prepare for your own. This simulation session, although there will be some new stuff you will have to learn, of course, it is roughly based on courses 1, 2, and 3. Not so much some of the stuff in course 3 as far as like condos, rural properties, or alternative properties, anything like that. Just REBA, soon to be Tressa, of course, depending on when you're watching this in the Humber material, our code of ethics, stuff like that. But it wasn't so much, and you will learn more, but it wasn't so much experience from professionals. It wasn't like these experienced professionals, facilitators, helping us. They do help, of course, don't get me wrong. It's just that they will answer your questions in a certain way, if you know what I mean. They won't be telling you, and sometimes they'll even give you a little real life experience, but they are just doing their job and following a curriculum. Personally, I was hoping to a certain extent this REBA/TRESA content was going to be behind us to a certain extent, all of this compliance. I was kind of hoping this was now time to really start learning. But it did have that feel of going a little backwards, right? You definitely need to learn stuff, and you were learning new stuff, but it felt like maybe I'd already done this. We spent hours on explaining client relationships, and we did spend a lot of time explaining buyer representation agreements, which, you know what, is pretty good. If I look back on it now, I think to myself, you need to get good at explaining at least the buyer representation agreement. So if that could trigger something in your mind, this could be a good thing. But one thing they do, and this is 100% a teaching method that I'm not a fan of, is when you ask a question, right, and it's a certain type of question, what they do is they turn it around on you almost. They're just like, okay, so what do you think about that question? Or they ask the entire group, what does everyone think about this entire question? So what I don't love about this is because when you ask that question and you're looking for the answer and they put it out there, and they do this so often, they put it out there to the entire class, you now sit and wait as people think about the possible answer. Here's the thing. By the time you've done that and you've asked 10 people that don't know the answer, you could have answered that one question and even 7 more like it. What it does is just take that simple question answer situation that you're going to experience in the real world. People aren't going to do that to you in the real world, right? You're going to just ask something and learn it. But when they do this, it prolongs the learning curve, in my opinion, and it feels like a waste of time. Tactics like this, which basically it is a learning tactic, in my opinion, works much better for non-paying students. If you picture yourself back in grade school, even high school, hopefully not college, right? When you have paying people that really want to learn stuff because this is now going to be their job, in my opinion, don't teach this way. Go answer based because they're there to learn. They're already there paying money to learn. Let's make this educational content valuable. And this is by no way in a million years the facilitator's fault. They are doing their job. My facilitators were amazing. Some were even funny, outgoing. It was a great experience, if you know what I mean. And they are just doing their job. They are following the curriculum. They are on a schedule. They're there to get you essentially from A to Z, how they've been told to do it. I love learning, and I know that teaching is an art, so I maybe have a higher desire for it to be optimal, but again, that was just my personal experience, right? If this happens to you as well, just do one thing for me, please. On day one, when you kind of realize you're not gonna learn a million things, reset your mind, right? Stay super positive to come into the next day. A person that tries to go into something knowing that they aren't going to learn anything will learn nothing. You open up your mind and okay, I'm not going to learn 100 things, but I'm going to learn 3 or 4 or 10 amazing things. By day 4, we were even discussing multiple offers. This was stuff I hadn't really much experience with, and I was enjoying the new information, right? Change that mindset, participate as much as you can, and try to learn as much as you can. These simulation sessions are what you make them. Try to enjoy them, because guess what? We have to do them. Like mentioned, guys, if you are looking for that additional support to pass these exams, look to the Exam Master mini courses in the description below. It's mini notes, mini quizzes, my exact fundamentals I use to pass all exams first try and in 4.5 months, as well as video breakdowns of the 4 types of questions you may see on the exams. You can get it the week leading up to your simulation session to be a bit more prepared and what to expect coming up. Then book your exam for maybe 2 days after day 5. Use the Exam Master mini courses plus the notes you've been taking as you've paid attention during the week, and come in beautifully prepared. These are exams you definitely don't want to fail a couple times. Like mentioned, extremely expensive and extremely time consuming. Those links in the description below are also value links for the time being for the YouTube family. I really hope this helped, guys, and if you have any questions at all, DM, email, comment on this video. I get back to everyone. My name is Callum Moore, eXp Realty real estate broker here in Ontario. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.